Namaste. Welcome. My name is Kristyn, and thank you so much for choosing to be here today. In this video, I'm going to be guiding you through a very gentle practice to explore, awaken, and to connect to Sacral Chakra or Svadhistana Chakra. The second chakra along the 7-chakra system, and this energetic center really resides in the space of the low belly, just below the navel. In today's experience, we'll be focusing on the region of the hips and the low back to really help dissolve away tension in this region of the body and to allow this chakra to open and to allow energy to flow more freely. This center really resonates with the element of water and all things that are fluid and flowing in this life. It invites us to harness the power to be able to flow through life with a sense of ease and grace. I invite you to take a few moments to reach for any props that you might use for your practice today, perhaps a couple of blocks, a pillow, or a bolster, and to be mindful of any contraindications or history of pre-existing injuries. Remember that your body is your best teacher, and if something doesn't feel right, I guarantee you it's probably not. When you are ready, we'll get started in a supine position on the back of the body, coming down into Shavasana or corpse pose. You can extend the legs and the arms out nice and long. You might slide a bolster or a pillow in behind the knees just to help support the low back, lumbar spine. You might take a moment to lift the pelvis and the hips up and lower them back down, allowing the head and the neck to rest heavy. And I'll extend the invitation for you to let your palms rest on the low belly, letting the index fingers and the thumbs come to touch, creating this little diamond shape around the region of Svadhistana Chakra. Take a nice deep breath in through the nose. Exhale the breath like a waterfall, letting it all go. Allow the windows of the eyes to become heavy as you settle into the undercurrent of your natural breath. Just allowing the breath to flow effortlessly. The waves of the breath rolling in and rolling back out. And as you rest here, drawing your awareness to the space of the low belly just below the navel. And at this region of sacral chakra, you might begin to envision a radiant orb of orange light, the light of sacral chakra. And with each breath, begin to deepen into the experience of the breath, as if you were drawing that breath all the way down into this orb of orange light. Breathing into this awakening of sacral chakra. And just continuing to find some of these deeper belly breaths. This chakra invites us to connect to our divine creative potential, inviting you to get creative within your practice today, to listen to the body, to honor what it needs, inviting us to connect to the element of water, to let go of resistance or attachments, and to harness the ability to flow through life with grace and ease. Letting go of any lingering emotions or negative thoughts, anything that's holding you back. As you continue to introduce these deeper belly breaths, on the exhale, begin to weave in Ujjayi breath, the oceanic breath or the victorious breath. Inhaling deeply. Hugging the back of the throat in so the exhale becomes slow, smooth, lengthened, and audible. The sound of the breath, like the sound of the waves crashing onto the shore. This gentle constriction in the back of the throat allows the breath to gently sweep along the back of the throat. You can think of ujjayi like washing away any impurities, dissolving away tension, building a little bit of internal heat. Taking one more of your deepest breaths here. And when you feel complete, let go of the technique. Return back to your natural flow of breath. And take a moment here to bask in the essence of ujjayi and the wisdom of sacral chakra. Knowing that you can return back home to this breath at any time. When you're ready, begin to relax your arms down by your sides. Begin to wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes. You might gently rotate the ankles and the wrists, letting go of any cracks and crunches, lubricating the joints. And on your next breath in, gently sweep the arms up overhead. Interlace your fingers, press your palms away from you, point your toes, take a nice big long stretch. Good, gently relax your arms down by your sides, hug the knees up into the chest, find a little boat pose. If you had a bolster or pillows in beneath the knees, you might take one of your feet and gently just slide your prop off to the side for now. Allow the head and the shoulders to rest heavy and just begin to gently rock a little bit from side to side. You might even massage out the low back, the sacrum, by tracing the knees in the shape of a circle. Just gently moving in one direction. And then the opposite direction. Good, bring the knees to center. Take the knees open wide, external rotation as you breathe in. Exhale, spin the knees around and back together again. Moving with breath here, just exploring this individual range of motion in the hip joints. And if you're moving in one direction to find balance, move in the opposite direction when you feel called to. There's no rush. Good, gently bring the knees up into the chest. Interlace your fingers to hug your right knee or shin into the chest, and then let your left foot fall down to the earth. You can keep your left knee bent, or you can extend the left leg long. Take a nice deep belly breath in. Drop the shoulders down away from the ears and exhale, hug the right knee up into the chest, Pavanmuktasana, or wind relieving pose. You might introduce some more circles in that right ankle, or some curious movement with that right knee. Maybe you feel called to just settling into external rotation, drawing right knee towards right side ribs. Taking a few deep breaths here. Maintaining a nice long spine, even though we are reclined. Good. If your left leg is extended, I invite you to gently bend the left knee, ground into the left foot. Track the right knee out towards the right side ribs. You can stay here, or we'll take half happy baby, Ardha Ananda Balasana. You can either take your hand in behind the back of the knee and extend that right heel up towards the sky, or if it's accessible to you, reach your right hand towards the outer edge of your right foot and draw the right knee down towards the right armpit. Looking to stay grounded into the back of the body. If you are feeling called to, you could even let the left knee fall out towards the left side like a half butterfly shape. But remember, you can always change your mind. From here, you might settle into a few breaths in stillness, or maybe you feel called to just gently find a little bit of movement. You might rock a little bit. Maybe you feel called to extend that right leg out and back in. Taking one more deep breath in. And a deeper breath out. If you're in that half butterfly shape with the left knee, draw the left knee back to center. Hug the right knee into the chest. And then bring the left knee up to meet the right. Come back home to little boat pose. Again, you might just gently rock a little bit side to side. Just noticing any difference between right and left side. And then we'll come to the other side, so interlace your fingers, maybe take a reverse dominant grip, hug your left knee up into the chest, let your right foot come down to the earth. Stay here or extend the right leg long, take a nice deep breath in, gentle flex of the right foot. Exhale, hug the left knee up into the chest, wind relieving pose other side. And again, you might find some rotations in that left ankle, or some curious movement with that left knee into the left hip. Maybe external rotation. Taking a few deep belly breaths here. Opening up into the hips, but simultaneously working with that natural flow of digestion and energy from right to left side of the body. Good. If your right leg is extended, bend the right knee, ground into the right foot. Take the left knee out towards the left side ribs. Again, you can stay here or reach your left hand to the outer edge of the left foot, or even peace fingers to your big toe. Take the left heel high to the sky, drop the left knee down towards the armpit. If you're feeling called to, let the right knee fall out to the right side like a half butterfly shape on the right side. Half happy baby. A few deep breaths here, all the way down into the region of the hips, the low back. And again, you might feel called to gently extend one leg and then the other. Maybe you feel called to sway a little bit from side to side. Just one more breath here. And if your right knee is out to the right side, ground into the right foot. Draw the left knee back into the chest. Come back home to little boat. And again, you might rock for a moment side to side. And then let your feet fall down to the earth, arms down by your sides. Scoot your heels in close to your bum, stack your knees over top of your ankles. We'll take a few rounds of a mini bridge. Lift the chest, tuck the shoulder blades under. And as you inhale, ground into your feet, tuck your tail, lift your pelvis and your hips up. Find that nice extension across the front of the hips. And then exhale, slowly roll the spine all the way back down. Good, again, tuck the tail, lift the hips. Exhale, vertebra by vertebra, roll the spine back down. Good, 2 more breaths here. Good. From here, lift the left arm up and overhead. Roll over to the left side and gently press yourself all the way up. Coming into tabletop position, all fours. Take a moment to stack the joints, spread your fingertips wide. Listen to your knees. They will tell you if you want your toes tucked or untucked. We'll move through a few rounds of cat-cow. So from a neutral spine, take a nice breath in, dip your belly low, lift your gaze, lift your tail. Exhale, dome the upper back into cat. Good, again, inhale, open the chest, lift the gaze. Exhale, broaden through the shoulder blades, hug navel to spine. A few more breaths here. Good, coming back home to tabletop. From here, start to trace nice big circles with the hips. Just moving in one direction. Moving with breath. Feeling into the hip joints. And when you feel called to, move in the opposite direction. Good, coming back to center tabletop. From here, we'll come into pigeon pose, Kapotasana on the left side. So when you're ready, you can gently just begin to extend the left leg back, ground into the ball of the left foot. Find that extension across the front of the left hip. Take a nice deep breath in. And then exhale, begin to draw the left knee up towards the left wrist, hook the left ankle to the right, and then inch that right leg back. It's important to ensure that the hips are square to the top of your mat. If this feels like too much, know that you can always bend the right knee and bring the right knee out to the right side. Find deer pose. Or you can use a block underneath the left hip if you find the left hip is lifted. When the hips are square, if you're in pigeon pose, you can untuck the back toes. Whether you're in pigeon or deer, I invite you to take your hands to frame that front knee. Inhale, lift the chest. And exhale, begin to roll the spine all the way down. We'll do this a couple of times. Inhale, roll the spine all the way up. Exhale, hinge forward. Exhale, roll the spine all the way down. Inhale, roll up. Good. This time as you exhale, settle into your fold over top of the left knee. You might take a block underneath the forehead, support the weight of the head and neck. Close down through the eyes, relax the jaw. Remember that if deer pose or pigeon doesn't feel right for you in your body today, you can always roll onto the back. Find figure 4 shape. You might reintroduce Ujjayi breath. Knowing that the hips can be a challenging place to explore. So we carry a lot of tension, stored emotions and energy as tension in and around our joints. And as the hips are the largest joints in our body, you can imagine how much tension builds up in the space around the hips. And so I just invite you to stay modest and to stay honest here. We'll just be here for a few more breaths, knowing that you are welcome to stay as long as you feel like you need. When you are ready, begin to ground into your palms. Inhale, slowly roll the spine all the way up. Good. If you're in pigeon pose, shift all of your weight into your left hip. Bend the right knee through deer pose, and then extend the right leg out to the right side. So facing the top of your mat, come to a seated position. Legs at about a 45-degree angle. If your left knee is lifted, simply just bring a block underneath that left knee. We'll come into revolved head to knee pose. Sitting up nice and tall, turn your navel to face the left knee. Take your left hand to your left hip, finding a lateral or side bend. Reach your right hand towards your right shin or your peace fingers towards your big toe. You can stay here or reach your left arm up and over. You can also take a block underneath your right forearm in front of the right leg. Really ground into the left sitting bone and reach that left arm up and over. Deepening the breath into the left side lung. Gently draw the left arm back, honor the side bend. Good, take one more deep breath in. And a deeper breath out. Slowly start to lift yourself all the way up. Good, setting your props off to the side. I invite you to bring your right leg forward and bring your left knee in. Take your left foot across the right thigh. We'll prepare for a twist. So you can keep the right leg extended. If you'd like to take the full variation, you can bend the right knee as long as you can stay grounded into the sitting bones. Sitting up nice and tall, take your left hand behind you, fingertips face away from you. Inhale, sweep the right arm up. Exhale, simply hug the left knee in and twist over to the left. Or if it's accessible to you, hook the right elbow to the outer edge of the left knee and then gaze over and beyond the left shoulder. Ardha Matsyendrasana, seated twist. Deepening into the breath here, just noticing what it feels like to breathe into this shape. As if the breath could flow up and down the length of the spine from root to crown and back again. Take one more deep breath in. Exhale, unravel your twist. We'll take a counter twist in the opposite direction. So take your right hand behind you, left hand maybe to your left foot or left ankle, and a gentle twist in the opposite direction. Good, slowly release back through center. Take your hands behind you, uncoil your legs, extend the legs out nice and long. You might give the knees a gentle shake. And then bend the knees, take the feet wide. Let the knees fall to the right, and gently gaze up and over to the left. We'll do this a couple of times, just floating the knees from side to side. The shins like little windshield wipers. Good. Coming back through center, extend the legs out nice and long. And then bend the knees once again, but this time take your knees open wide and the soles of the feet to touch. Finding cobbler's pose, Baddha Konasana. Take your hands to find the feet, sit up nice and tall, lengthen from root to crown. And just take a moment here, allow the knees to flutter a little bit, like little butterfly wings. Just these little flutters, if it feels good. Kind of easing away some of that tension in the hips. And then when you're ready, find stillness. Allow the knees to fall down and away from the ears. If you'd like more support here, take blocks underneath your thighs. You can stay seated tall or introduce more of a forward fold. Start to hinge at the hips as if you're trying to draw the navel towards the inner arches of your feet. Maintaining a long spine here. Staying long into the low back. And if you're looking for a little bit of a deeper stretch today, if you're feeling a little bit more receptive, you can even gently use your elbows to press your thighs a little bit more open. A few more breaths. And slowly begin to lift yourself back up. Take your hands to your outer thighs, close your knees up like a book. Wrap your arms around your knees, tuck your chin, give yourself a loving, gratifying squeeze. Good, and then cross your ankles, come back into tabletop pose. So we'll come to the other side. As you find table, if you're feeling called to explore a little bit of movement, something that feels good in recovery, you might flow through a few rounds of cat-cow or some hip circles. And then when you're ready, extend the right leg back, open up the front of the right hip, breathe in. Exhale, draw the right knee towards the right wrist, hook the right ankle to the left. Good, and then into that left leg back, pigeon pose, Kapotasana, or you can find deer pose. Bend the left knee out to the left side. Again, if you're in pigeon and you'd like more support, you can take a block or a pillow underneath your right hip. Inhale, sit up nice and tall. Exhale, start to roll the spine all the way down. Good, inhale, roll the spine back up. Exhale, bow all the way forward. Last breath. Inhale, roll up. Exhale, bow all the way forward. Again, you might take a block or some support underneath the forehead. Settling in, closing down the eyes, and just noticing where you feel sensation here. Deepening the breath into sensation. Opening up the hips, letting go of tension. Breath by breath, honoring each breath as an opportunity for you to let go. Good, and remembering that you can stay as long as you need. You can always catch up. Honoring the timing of this short practice. When you're ready, begin to ground into your palms, lift the chest. Shift all of your weight into the right hip. Bend the left knee, come through deer pose, and then extend the left leg out to the left side. Facing the top of your mat, find that 45-degree angle. Turn your navel to face the right knee. We'll find revolved head to knee pose. Right hand comes to right hip. Reach your left hand towards your left shin or left peace fingers to your big toe. Option to reach the right arm up and over. Really ground into the right sitting bone. Lengthen from the hip to the fingertips. And if it ever feels like too much for the right shoulder, you can always bend the right elbow. Take the hand in behind the head. Deepening the breath into the right side of the body. One more breath in. Exhale to release. Slowly come to sit all the way up. Bring that left leg to face the top of your mat, and then bring the right knee in. The right foot crosses over the left leg. You can stay here as we come into our twist. If you'd like the full variation, you can bend that bottom leg, as long as you can stay grounded into the sitting bones. Take your right hand behind you, fingertips away from you. Inhale, sweep the left arm up. Exhale, twist over to the right. You might close down through the eyes. And just notice how it feels to breathe into this shape. Seeing where the tip of each breath takes you. Each exhale, perhaps gently deepening into the experience of a twist. Take one more breath in. Exhale, gently release. Find that counter twist in the opposite direction. Good, release through center. Take your hands behind you, uncoil the legs. You might give the knees a shake. When you're ready, scoot your bum forward and slowly make your way down onto the back of the body. Hug the knees up into the chest. Good, and then from here, let your feet fall down to the earth. Take your arms open wide into the shape of a T. Lift your hips up and over to the right and let the knees naturally stack and fall over to the left, a supine twist. You might inch your head and your shoulder blades a little bit closer to the top of your mat. Maybe gaze up and over to the right. If you'd like more support here, you can take a block in between the knees or a block underneath both knees. Each exhale, surrendering into the breath, releasing and letting go, knowing that at any time, whether within your practice or within your life, when you experience resistance, see if you can tap into that essence of your creative potential to find ways around the challenge, to navigate through muddy or challenging waters. Encouraging that essence of flow and fluidity within your life. Again, knowing that you can stay as long as you feel like you need. But when you feel ready, begin to draw the knees back up to center, realign the spine. You might lift the pelvis up and back down, maybe take a nice big long stretch. But in your own time, we'll come to the other side, so shift your hips up and over to the left, let the knees fall stacked over to the right. Support your body in this shape, lengthen through the spine, then maybe gaze over to the left. Nothing left for you to do except to surrender to the wisdom of the breath. Each breath like a ringing out. Each breath letting go. Letting go. Within your own time, with as little effort as you need, start to unravel your twist. Hug the knees back up into the chest. We'll explore the full variation Ananda Balasana, blissful baby. Take the knees wide, reach for the outer edges of the soles of the feet. Take the feet high, drop the knees down towards the armpits. Ground into the back of the body, even tuck the tip of your tailbone down, as if you were trying to Velcro the entire length of your spine to your mat. You might feel called to gently rock side to side, just noticing if the body feels any different now than when you first stepped onto your mat this morning. Good, take one more deep breath in. Exhale, bring the soles of the feet to touch. And then let the feet fall down to the earth. Take the knees open wide. Supta Baddha Konasana, reclined bound angle. You might lift the pelvis and the hips up and then lower them back down to let go of any lingering tension. Again, you might bring support underneath the thighs, inviting the palms back to rest on the low belly. Fingertips and thumbs come to touch. Closing down the eyes and letting your awareness settle in the home, the region of sacral chakra. Basking in the essence and the wisdom of this energetic center. Taking a deep breath in and a deeper breath out. You might reflect upon ways in which you might connect to sacral chakra in your daily life. Connecting to the element of water, going to the ocean, the lake, a river, or a stream. And considering in what ways could you flow through life with more grace and ease. I invite you to stay and rest here. If you are looking to close this practice with an experience of yoga nidra or a guided meditation, I'll leave a link in the description below and at the end of this video. I'd like to thank you so much for practicing with me today. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like, a comment, let me know what you liked and what you would like to see more of. If you are joining us here from the 200-hour Embodied Wisdom Yoga Teacher Training, please let me know that you are here so that we can follow along your journey. If you are curious about an online yoga teacher training, please get in touch with us. We offer online trainings that bring together students from around the world, as well as trainings in person and in Costa Rica, here in Canada as well. So if you're interested, I'd love to connect. As well, if you are here on Vancouver Island, I would love to practice with you. You can also subscribe to this channel to get notified when I release new content each and every week. Until next time, may you all be happy, may you all be healthy, may you all be peaceful, and may you all be free. Namaste.